Okay, it's 10 o'clock. We're going to get started. Good morning and welcome to the Google Classroom training. And I'm going to make sure one more time that everybody is muted because I'm still getting an echo. If you have just joined, make sure that you complete the sign-in sheet that Robin has dropped in the link. I'm sorry, Robin has dropped the link in the chat. My name is Leslie Fagan, and I'm one of the two instructional, I'm sorry, I'm seriously getting an echo. So let me see if I can fix that. I am one of two instructional tech coaches. I take care of the secondary schools in our district, as well as the Enrichment Center and Central Office. Robin does the elementary schools. So we're going to let Robin go ahead and get started with the first part of the training, which is on Block C. And Robin can tell you all about that.
Right, I'm Robin Harris, and like Leslie said, I handle the elementary schools in the district and work with teachers on how to integrate technology in their lessons. Before we begin, I did want to mention about the sign-in sheet. We've only had 6 of you guys sign in. If you're not sure where the chat is located, it's over on the right-hand side. And it's that little, it looks like a little speech bubble. If you click on that, it should say a number out beside it. If you'll click there and then just click the link, and I'll drop that in again for anyone who just came in. All right, so we're going to get started with Block C. And so you will hear a lot about Block C, because Block C is our platform that we use to allow the teachers to help monitor what the students are doing online. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Of course, I can't see you guys.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, perfect, thank you. I can't see you guys. When I share my screen, I can't see you or the chat box. So if there's a question, Leslie will let me know. But when you go to, you'll have to go to blockc.net, and that's right up here in the URL place. And once you go there, you'll just click teacher. And I'm assuming that, you know, you would have your teacher logins and that type of thing. Oops, and I forgot to stop this earlier when I was testing it out. Let me go ahead and stop that real quick so that you can see. I'm gonna go back to my dashboard now. All right, so when you get into Block C, you'll see the different classes that your teacher has set up. And within that, like secondary and middle school, high school, and upper elementary, they will probably have it broken down by time periods, like their class periods. Now, if it's elementary, lower elementary, they may have it set up for an all-day time. So you can see this is what I've got on this first one, Sandbox 2. And then on Sandbox 1, I've got it for like a 90-minute block of time. So those time periods are very important. I'm just going to work in Sandbox 2 today to show you the different aspects of this. But if I click on Sandbox 2, you will see my different students show up. And Leslie, now I'm getting that echo. Did you do something different?
No, actually, I turned off my second monitor and I don't have the echo anymore. because I had the monitor, second monitor, so I could see the chat and my presentation. But now that I've turned it off, I don't have the echo.
Okay, I have the second monitor on, but I haven't joined the call. So I don't know.
Can you have
Anyway,
it open? If you have the if you have this meet open, you're going to get that echo.
okay, I do have the Meet open. So let me
Close it.
close it. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So if you look at these four students, we're only really going to be concerned with student 10 today because, as you can see, these are fake students that Leslie and I use for training, and so they don't have these student 5, student 7, student 1 do not have licenses. So we were able to secure a license for student 10 for the purposes of showing you and demonstrating to you how this works. All right, so the first thing, um, this start button is going to be the most important part because as you can see right now, I have my student 10 Chromebook up and loaded, but you can't see what student 10 is doing. So the only way that you will be able to see what student 10 is doing is by clicking this start button. Okay, so I click start and you can see what page student 10 is on. And so as you're working and giving students assignments, you will know and you'll have all of these thumbnails displayed. And so it would be very interesting if we did have licenses for all four of these students because you could see exactly what page they're on and if they're in the correct place you want them to be. So let's just say that you have given an assignment and student 10 is supposed to be working on this document here. And you can see just then it switched right over to the document the student is supposed to be working on. But you can also see what other tabs the student has open. So you can, I hope I'm right here in this one, and I am hovering right over the classroom. You probably will want the student to have that classroom open, okay, as a tab. The next tab is their Google Drive. The next tab is actually where you want them to be. But the next two tabs, YouTube and Disney. So you may not want them to be there. Okay. So this shows you exactly what they're on, but I'm not going to worry so much about where they are as long as they're working on what they're supposed to be working. Okay. So before we go into more student things that we can do, I want us to look at these menu choices up here. So these up here at the top control the whole class. So if I use any of these, they will affect all of my students that I have in my classroom. And so, for instance, like this heads up, I can click the heads up and I can decide, well, I want it to be for 1 minute. Maybe they're working and you need to give them some directions and you want them to stop working. And so this is a great way to do that because it will automatically, I'm going to change that to 2 minutes because we can always change it. But this gives you an opportunity to give directions, redirect if you need to, whatever you need to do. If you need everyone to stop working, this is the place where you can do that. So I click confirm, and so I'm not sure. Can you still see me as I'm talking?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Well, I'm going to hold up the student computer. All right. So when I click confirm, do you see what happened here? It went to heads up. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So it went to heads up. So the computer, when it says heads up, the students will automatically, because their work just disappeared, when they're excuse me, when they see heads up, their heads are going to pop up like, what just happened. And so then you give them whatever it is information you want. And when you are ready, let's say that your time is still ticking on your heads up. I haven't taught 2 minutes, here, but I'm ready and I'm done with it. I can click cancel, and that's right up here in my little menu choices. Click cancel, and it will go back to their work. Oh, it didn't go back to the actual one, but they can go back to what they're supposed to be working on. Okay. The next menu choice is a share or enforce. So let's just say that they are working and you want to share a resource with them. You can put in the URL of what that resource is, and you can just send it directly to them. You can share that page, and it will just open up that URL on every single Chromebook. Um, and then you can enforce a page. And if you enforce the page, all of the other tabs that they have open will close. So, you would just it's dependent upon the situation whether you share a page or whether you enforce a page. Maybe it is that you do want everything closed down and you only want them on that particular page. So you would use enforce. But with share, it may be that, oh, I found this great resource that you can use, and you share it with them. Okay. So that is the difference between share and enforce. And you can message the students. So if you click message, it might be that we will finish our lesson in 5 minutes. Please start finishing up. All right, and so then I can send that to the entire class. But it also gives me the option here that if I've set up a different class, I can send it to whichever class that is. And then I send, and the students here in the bottom corner will get a message on their Chromebook of what you have just sent to the whole class. Okay, and they can respond back to you as well. All right, assessment. This one is a bit tricky. And the reason I say that is because you may administer tests through Mastery Connect or some other type of platform. The only difference and the only problem with that is a lot of times teachers will put in for the URL that they want to put in is www.masteryconnect.com. But what that does, that takes you to the whole site of Mastery Connect and not to that particular test that they need to have. So that's where it would be tricky, where you would have to actually go to the Mastery Connect test, copy that entire URL, the one that's like it, for instance, up here at the top of this one, it's teacher.blockc.net/# dashboard. And then a lot of times you see all those numbers and letters and things. You would have to copy and paste that entire thing and put here in this field. So it does get a little bit tricky as far as that goes. But it is easy to do. And what it will do, it will block all tabs from being opened, so that the student can only focus on that one tab of that test. And then that way they are not going from here to there and everywhere, instead of working on their test. And so I just wanted to click on assessment and show you some of the things that you can use as assessment here in that section. All of these are supported. Of course, Google Classroom, Google Forms, Kahoot. A lot of teachers use Kahoot, Quizlet, Nearpod. Those are ones that, and BrainPop are ones that we really see a lot here in Griffin Spalding. We do not use Schoology. We do not use Satori. I'm not sure about Test Portal, but I don't think so. And I'm not sure about ExamNet. And we do not use Edmodo, nor do we use Canvas. So that'll give you an idea of the ones that we do use within our district. All right, so I'm just going to X that one out. And this also allows you to, this next one shows you, allows you to have the students share the screen. Well, let's see, let's click. Oh, this one's for me. Yeah, that one's for the whole class. Sorry about that. But it does let you do that for the student too. And this is a new one in Bloxy, the conference, and it can certainly be used, but our platform of choice for meeting with students virtually is Google Meet. So you probably won't use that one. There may be times that you might, but I would still stick to Meet. Okay, so again, all of these along the top control the whole class. But then you can get into student controls. And so if you look right below the thumbnail for each student, they have the very same thumbnails that are up here at the top. Okay. This one here, though, is a new one, and that's just to save a screenshot of what the student is doing on their computer. So let's just say that you're consistently having to redirect a student, and sorry, and you're having to redirect a student, and you may want to take a screenshot to share that with their teacher. You may want to share that with their parents if you're, especially if you're a long-term sub, just to let them know that, you know, hey, they were consistently not where they needed to be. This little lightning bolt corresponds up here to the share enforce. So you can share or enforce directly to one particular student, not just everyone. You can send a message to just that one student. You can do a heads up to just that one student. And let's say that you have one student taking a test. Maybe they were absent that day and weren't able to take the test. So you've got them working on an assessment. And then this is where you can stream the student's screen. They can share their screen. So maybe they've got a good strategy that they're showing in math. They can click, and on the student's screen, it's going to ask them to click the screen. So they will click their screen and share. So whatever is on their screen now is being shared to the whole class. And so there it is there that that they can share. All right. Excuse me. So another thing I did want to mention is that I can click on this and make it big. So I've got, let me stop sharing that. So I can click on this right here, and along the top, again, it shows me what tabs they have open. And you can see that I can close that tab automatically if I want to. Okay, let me actually go over to that tab on the student screen, and I'll show you what happens. So here I have the student screen open, and I've got the Disney, they have the Disney tab, and that's what they're doing instead of their work. I can just hover over the D for Disney and click close. And then automatically it's going to go to the next open tab. Well, lo and behold, they have cute puppies up on YouTube. Well, I don't want them to have cute puppies up either, so I'm going to close it. Okay, now these are the 3 tabs that probably you would want them to have. All right. So also, this is important too. Let's say that you have, do y'all still see mine? Do you still see my screen?
Ms. Trice, you were accidentally broadcasting, I think. Mm-hmm. Can you stop broadcasting? Robin, if you'll hold on just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that a lot of you are probably new to Google Meet. Down on the bottom of your window, you'll see like over on the left side, it says Google Classroom Substitute Teacher Training. And then there's a microphone icon, a little red phone to hang up, and then the camera. Over on the right side, it says Present Now. If you click Present Now, then that's going to share your screen with everybody. So if you'll just be careful to not click that, then that is what's interrupting Robin's presentation. So just be careful to not do that. There you go, Robin.
I'm back.
Well, no, you're not. I need you to share your.
Oh.
You can share your screen now, but.
Okay. Well, it still tells me I'm sharing. So let me stop, and then I'll come back. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do my whole screen again. All right. So y'all can see? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, okay, perfect. All right. So one thing to notice too is if let's just say that this was a website that you never really wanted them to go to, you can actually go and automatically put it on your block list. Or if you see that they have found a great resource for maybe they're researching something, you could click and add that to the allow list. And then I mean, that's pretty much it with Blocksy. I did want to mention something too, that if you are doing your classes, and especially if you're an elementary teacher and you don't click this, see, and you've got this big long block of time, you will need to press stop if your students go anywhere else. So if they're going to do a Google Meet with their art teacher, you would need to click start, because the art teacher would need to click stop. I mean, the art teacher would need to click start so that she could, or he could, monitor the classroom and what they're doing in the classroom. So that's going to be really important, that start and stop. And then another thing too is, let's say you have, there's a siren, sorry y'all. Let's say you have a student who goes to speech or goes to special ed, has special ed services. This right here, this exclude include, you can still keep your whole class running and exclude that student. So then they're no longer counted in your classroom until they get back and are ready to join your classroom again. And that'll be really important too, because the other teachers won't be able to monitor those students unless you exclude them from your classroom, or you press stop if the whole class is going somewhere. Okay, so that's really it with Blocksy. I mean, you have a lot of controls of what the students are doing in the classroom on the computers. It's really important to remember that if you were doing a virtual situation too, if they're using their personal devices, those are not monitored by GSCS. So you'll have to be really careful with that. But most of our students are using a GSCS device that are being managed. So you probably won't run into that. Leslie, are there any questions in the chat box? And I'll stop sharing too.
No, there are not any questions in the chat box, but ladies and gentlemen, if you would, Robin and I have dropped a link in the chat box, and several of you have typed your name in the chat box. We need you to actually click on the link and fill out that Google form, because that is the form that we will give to Human Resources, and that is the official attendance document. And it is my understanding that once you complete our training, and then there's a second part, you will receive half a day sub pay. So please go ahead and click on the link. And I accidentally put the link to the Google Meet in there, so disregard that one. But the one that says forms, if you will click on that, type in your name and email address, then we will turn that information into human resources. So please make sure that you do that. And there are no questions in the chat box, Robin, about Bloxy. Also, ladies and gentlemen, there is a quick start guide for Bloxy that's it's already placed in the Google Classroom that we're using for this training. So if you need to go back and refer to it because you have questions, you will have access to it. So we are good now. Thank you very much, Robin. And I'll drop the link in again for the Google form. So there you go. So if you'll click on that, it will take you to a Google form, and it's just asking for your name and email address, and then we will get that turned in. I am going to start sharing my screen, and while I am sharing my screen, I'm going to ask you if you would please open up another window, and if you don't know how to do that, I can show that to you, because I'm going to need you to join the Google Classroom that we are using for this presentation. Okay, now this is our Google Classroom. And I'm sorry, let me back up. When you first go to, and what I would like for you to do is in a new browser window, if you are on a computer, and if you're not on a computer, we can share the class code with you later. But if you are on a computer, go to classroom.google.com, and you will see it right up here, classroom.google.com. And then once you get to classroom.google.com, this is what we call the landing page. And this is where all of the classes that you are either teaching or enrolled in, this is the place where you will see all of those classes. And most all of you should have already received an invitation to join this class. This is the substitute required training class, and you will complete this at the conclusion of this class. So you should already be in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to click on the plus sign in the upper right-hand corner. And it is going to ask you if you would it may only say join a class or join and create a class. I would like you to click on join a class. And then I am going to give you the class code for today's class. Oh, here we go, sorry. Okay, this is the code. JN3VRIO. JN3VRIO.
And it is case sensitive, so make sure you do all lowercase.
Okay, repeat that again. I'm sorry.
JN
3
V as in Victor, R as in Romeo, I as in Ice, O as in Omega.
Gotcha. I just got on this call because I was just struggling with my computer, trying to get in. So this code is for what?
This is for the Google Classroom that we are about to do a quick overview on Google Classroom. Robin just finished a presentation on using Bloxy, and that's how we monitor what the students are doing on their Chromebooks. And I am recording this session. So what I can do is once the recording is actually processed, I can put it into I'm sorry, I'll just share it with Human Resources, and then they can share it with you, and you can watch it at your leisure so that you will be familiar with how to use Blocksy.
May I get the URL again?
I'm sorry, the class code to join the class.
No, the URL to get to the site where I can put it in. I know it's a classroom URL, but
It's classroom.google.com.
Classroom.google.com. All right.
And then once you get to that page, you will see a plus sign in the upper right-hand corner. Click on that plus sign, and your option should be to join a class. And then you will enter this case-sensitive code. J is in Juliet, N is in nice, 3, V is in Victor, R is in Romeo, I is in ice, O is in Omega.
Okay. Now we're to do that when, and I apologize, I'm just getting on because I was struggling around with trying to get on the computer and couldn't do it. So I'm kind of running just a few minutes behind. I apologize for that.
Oh, no, ma'am, you're not behind at all. We just started the Google Classroom portion of the training. As I mentioned, Robin did the Blocksy training, so now we are doing Google Classroom. So we have not actually done anything in Google Classroom other than we are now joining. So you're good.
So, okay, so are we to go do that now?
Yes, ma'am, because we're going to show you how to use Google Classroom. If you're on a phone, you may not see it, but as I mentioned, I'm recording this session. So once the recording is processed, I will share it with Human Resources, and then they can share it with you, and you can refer back to it. And also, I'm going to go ahead and close this, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to click over here onto this page, but I'll go back to the main page. Down here under Resources, there is a presentation that Robin and I did last spring for our teachers called Navigating Google Classroom, and there are screenshots, and it walks you through how to use Google Classroom. So that's here for you to use, as well as the Blocksy user guide. So both of these documents are in the classroom for you to use.
Okay, because while you're talking, I'm on my computer going into the Google Classroom, and what came up is that same page, that 2020 substitute required, Tiffany Taylor. That's what came up when I put in Google Classroom.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So if you were on your homepage and probably you only have one class, then that's the 2020 substitute training. If you're looking at my screen right now, you'll see this plus sign in the upper right-hand corner.
Okay, let me go up here. Yeah, I see it. Okay.
So you're going to click on it, and then when you click Join Class,
okay,
it's going to ask for you to enter a code, and I'm already in a class, so I can't join it. But then, so I'm going to enter the code for this particular training, which is JN3VRIO.
And you say it's case sensitive?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, okay.
JN3VRIO.
Okay, I'm gonna hit enter. Okay, I click then. Okay, I put the code in, and then when I hit enter, okay, nothing's happening. I put the code in, nothing's happening.
So are you getting any kind of error message?
It's just not when I'm hitting on enter. Let me hit enter. Once I put that code in, I'm hitting enter. Oh, should I go up and hit join after I put the code in?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right. Okay, now it's saying something's happening.
It's thinking and processing, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff
Okay, there you go. It
Yes,
said
ma'am.
Leslie Hagan. Okay. Okay, welcome to overview, Leslie Hagan. Okay. So what do I do at this point?
It may be okay to stay after we're finished with everyone else so that we can go ahead and continue, and since everyone else is ready, if you don't mind.
No.
But are you in?
Yes,
Okay, perfect.
So do I click on the welcome and overview video? Click on that?
No, ma'am. I'm going to go over the things that you all need to know,
Okay.
because we're going to get started with the actual Google Classroom training.
Okay. I'm not able to get on there. I don't understand this.
I just got in on the meeting. I haven't been able to get.
How do I open up a new window?
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know how to stop sharing. I can't show you how to open a screen. Sorry, y'all.
I'm at the part where it says class outline. Is that the right page I'm on?
If you'll hold on just one moment, ma'am. Some people are having difficulty, so we've got to back up.
I understand. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I am going to mute the microphones because we're getting some background noise. There is a chat box, so if you will put your questions in the chat box, then that way we won't get the background noise. Okay, so you can see my screen, and in order to open up a new browser window, all you have to do is go up here to the top, and I'm on desktop, so if you're on a MacBook, it may be a little different, but you're just gonna click where this little plus sign is that says new tab. And then in the window, you'll type in classroom.google.com. And once you type in classroom.google.com, you should have your Google Classroom landing page. And if you have already joined the class for the substitute teacher required training, you'll see that. And if you have already joined the class that we are teaching, then you should see that. And quite a few people aren't in it because I'm only seeing 16. So let me come back over here. In the upper right, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And Leslie, some people are on like iPads and things like that, so they are just going to have to probably wait and watch the video to work through. And then too, if they're on a phone, we wouldn't see them.
Okay, gotcha.
But do you see that they're there?
Well, if they're on a phone, we don't know who the person is because we only see a phone number. If
Okay,
they're logged in,
this Gwendolyn Trice.
are you on a phone?
I'm on a phone because I can't get in on my iPad.
Okay, well that's fine. As long as you have signed in on the Google form sign-in sheet, we'll know that you're here. If you were not able to log into the classroom right now, we can share that code with you, and then you can log in and see the materials. But I'm going to share my screen so that you can see what we're doing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so we're going to go ahead because we are, I don't want to cut the training short, but I want to make sure that you get the important parts of it. Okay, so I'm clicking on the Google Classroom, and their Google Classroom is set up a lot like several social media pages, and there's a stream. This is the main page, and right now there's nothing that you actually have to do here. And when you are subbing, and it depends on if you are a day-to-day sub or a long-term sub. If you're a long-term sub, then you will probably be given access so that you can actually come in and make sure that the students are doing their work. But if you're a day-to-day sub, then it's my understanding that the principals will have another teacher there in the building who will have access to the teacher's Google Classroom, and you'll be the person who is more or less helping the students get their assignments turned in. So we're going to show you both sides of Google Classroom, the teacher side and the student side. Right now, we're in the teacher side. This is the stream, and this is where announcement posts. And this is some information that we took from a model Google Classroom that we set up to train teachers on how to do remote learning this year. So this is just informational purposes only. There is only one thing that we are going to ask you to do in Google Classroom, and that's just so that you can see how a portion of Google Classroom works. So this is the stream, and this is where teachers can post their course syllabus or announcements. Here is a welcome and overview video, and that explains how they should navigate Google Classroom. I'm going to skip over the classwork page for just a moment and go to the people page. The people page is where you see the teachers and also where you see the students. If you are given access to a Google Classroom because you are a long-term sub and you need to email the parents, you can do that from within Google Classroom. All you would simply do is click on, if you were sending an email to all of the parents, you click on this box up here and it will check all of the students. And then you can just click on email guardians and then compose your email, and then you would be able to send it. You can also, let's say you have a student who is talking and talking and talking and you need them to stop talking or posting inappropriate things, you can mute them. So I'm going to say that Leslie is talking too much. I'm going to put a check mark by her name, come up here to actions, and then I'm going to click mute. Now, when I mute Leslie, Leslie can still do her work. Nobody else knows that she's muted. She can't reply to any of her classmates, and she can't comment, and she can't post on anything. Leslie will not be muted for the duration of the semester. Leslie would probably just be muted for a day or two until she learns her lesson, because muting her for the duration of the semester is not going to accomplish a whole lot, and then you would really need to do some other disciplinary actions. So this right here is also where you can remove students from the class, but there's not any reason for you to remove students. And if you needed to add any students, you could add students simply by clicking on the little person with a plus sign, and you can type in their name or their email, and then you would be able to invite them to the class. But because we're at this point in the semester, you should not have to invite any students into the Google Classroom. Okay, so let's go back over here to the classwork page. We have the classwork page set up so that it is easy to navigate for the parents and it is easy to navigate for the students. And we want this to be as easy as possible for everybody so that they concentrate more on the work and that they are not frustrated. And this is one of the things that all of the schools across the district are doing, some kind of daily check-in, and that's how they're taking attendance. In this particular classroom, it's up here at the top. So every day the student would know that they need to come in here and check in, and then that's how I'm going to take roll. So the first thing they would do is click on the daily check-in, and I'm also going to show you what it looks like on the side of a student. But for the teacher, this is how they would lay it out. Our weekly agenda is here, and this is a sample agenda so that parents will know what's expected of their child in each of the subject areas. So the teachers work together, and this is just a sample of one. The teachers work together to get their content area in, and then they post it each week, and the students will have a quick glance of what they are supposed to do every day so that they know how to manage their time. And like I said, this is just an example, and this particular person put links in here so that they could click on the link. Our teachers, some of them are choosing to put links in, some of them are just putting them in the Google Classroom. That is purely their preference as to where they put the links for the students. Okay, so the weekly schedule, that's just there for the students and the parents to know what to do and when to do it. This right here, we have Unit 1. And if you've been in the system for a year or two, you know that we are doing the RCD units. So we decided that we would use the format of the RCD to lay out our Google Classroom. And this is not all inclusive of everything that is in the RCD unit. So what we have here is the pre-assessment, because we have a pre-assessment for all of the RCD units and the post-assessment. So the first thing the students would do for Unit 1 in their English class would be their Mastery Connect RCD assessment, and there are some instructions that go along with it. And right now we see that there are 17 people that this has been assigned to, and 0 have turned it in. If we click on the assignment, we can see all of the students in the class. And remember, this is the teacher's perspective. The student will not see this. So I can see all of the students. I can see that it's been assigned to everybody. And like I said, nobody has turned it in. So that's how I can see exactly at a glance who has done what. And I'm going to also show you what it's like when students actually submit an assignment, how the teacher would look at the grades and return grades and whatnot for the students. Okay, Robin, if there are any questions in the chat box, will you be sure to let me know, please?
Yes, certainly, but we don't have any right now. Yeah, we're good right now.
Okay, so what I would like you to do, if you are able, here, right here where it says daily quiz, I would like you to quickly complete, and it's just 5 simple questions because I want to show you what it looks like when students have turned in grades. So if you can, click on View Assignment. I'm sorry, let's go back to the instructions part. We're going to click on the assignment, and you are just going to answer these questions, and it is a self-graded quiz. So you will see just as soon as you are finished exactly what your score is.
Mine is asking me for access, that I need to ask for access.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Let's refresh it. I did not realize, I thought that I checked that it did not need the GSCS email address. Do you have access now?
Yes, I'm in. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How do I get to the assignment? Right now, what I'm looking at is Leslie Fagan posted a new assignment, a Unit 1 pre-assessment. Am I in the wrong? Am I on the wrong screen?
Okay, what I've just done is I've switched over to, I am logged in as myself with my personal Gmail account. Do you see my screen right now?
The only thing I see right now on my screen is Leslie Fagan posted a new assignment. Now, do I need to go? What do I need to go back up to daily check-in, weekly schedule, Unit 1, or resource? What do I need to click on?
Underneath Unit 1, it says daily quiz.
On mine, under Unit 1, it says Leslie Fagan posted a new assignment, Unit 1 pre-assessment, August the 17th through the 21st. That's what I see on mine, and it says assigned.
Okay, are you on the classwork tab or on the stream tab?
Classwork. I'm on the classwork.
Can you refresh your screen, because it's supposed to be there. I'm logged in as a student. You don't see anything where it's at. There should be 3 things underneath Unit 1. The Unit 1 pre-assessment, the Unit 1 engaging scenario, and then the daily quiz.
Yeah, I got that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Under Unit 1, it says pre-assessment, engaging scenario, and it has a take flight video right up under that.
Okay, but then that's the engaging scenario. You don't see the daily quiz?
Yes, I do. I do, ma'am. I do now.
Okay, so if you will take the daily, I'm sorry, go ahead.
You say click on the daily quiz.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. It say complete this quiz. So you click on Google Forms.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, if something popped up, it says talk with your teacher, private comments, just X out of that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay,
So
request to take the quiz.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I sent a request to take the quiz.
You're getting a message that says request to take the quiz?
It's denied, so I had to send a request.
Refresh your screen again and see, because she's changed the settings, so it should work now.
okay, because mine is saying the same thing. Request access.
Are you on it?
I
You
went to
said you were on a phone?
No, I'm on a computer.
Me too, on a computer.
Okay, then do you see up in the upper, and I'm like, again, on a PC, on the upper left-hand side, there's a little arrow that's kind of in a semicircle. If you'll click that, that'll refresh your screen. But it's okay if not everybody does this quiz, because I have 5 responses, so I can show you what it looks like in Google Classroom.
Okay. All right.
Oops, sorry.
How did you say you refresh the screen? It's a little arrow that's in a circle.
It's a semicircle, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Up there by the address bar. If you'll click on that, it should say reload this page.
Okay. Refresh. Okay.
Okay, so as a teacher, this is what I'm seeing. I see who all has turned in their assignments and who may still be working on it. And I don't actually have to grade this quiz because it is already graded for me on my the initial quiz that I created. I made it where it was a quiz and I can see who has made what. It's telling me the average. I'm sorry, did somebody have a question?
I apologize. Mine is still saying, after I did the refreshing, it's saying request access.
I'm not sure why it's still saying that, but if you don't take the quiz, that's okay. This is just purely for demonstration purposes to show you some of the kinds of things that the teachers may already have in their classroom. For instance,
All right.
somebody, I'm hearing a lot of background noise.
Thank you.
This particular unit, the students are supposed to write a narrative, and because it's an English class, one of the things that the teacher is looking for is making sure that they have a variety of sentence types. So that's why you just saw the type of quiz that you did, because they're supposed to, not just have simple sentences. This is a middle school assignment. They're supposed to have some compound, complex sentences and things like that. So we just want to show you how the teachers are going to intertwine the actual task that the students are supposed to do with some of the assessments. If the students don't know how to write sentences of varying lengths and whatnot, then that may be something that they're going to have to stop and have a mini lesson on. But we just want you to see the kinds of things that are going to be in a Google Classroom. Okay?
All right.
I have
Okay.
So I have my grades here. So what I can do is I can actually click on the individual tab and then go back.
Leslie,
I'm sorry.
there's a question.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
I think, Mr. Gilbert, did you have a question?
Yes, thank you. I was on the screen where it was, well, it went back to another screen, but I was trying to do the questionnaire. So when I was for the classroom, but it put me right back to just the main screen now where you present to everyone. So do I need to do it or just continue?
Yeah, you can just continue, and you should have at the top where it says Google Classroom, where you opened up a new tab. Just click on that tab, and so you'll be able to see what Leslie is doing.
Okay.
I have a question, please. On my PC, I have a computer. When I clicked on it, it says request sent, and it said you will get an email letting you know if your request was approved.
Okay, that's fine. You don't really we're just using the quiz for demonstration, so it's
Okay.
perfectly fine.
Okay, because I can't see anything except request sent. That's all I can see.
Okay, so you can X out of that and then go back to the tab where Leslie is working to show you the classroom.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. When the requests right now are going to my email box, and I can't see that because I'm right now I'm looking at the screen with all of you on it, or I'm in the Google Classroom. So I didn't realize, and I thought that when I set up the quiz that I did not require that you had to be within our organization to take it. My apologies for that. It's less important that you take the quiz, more important that you see how our students are being assessed and what it looks like in Google Classroom. So let me switch back over to this page. Okay, like I was saying, I can see right here, and if I were to click on individual, I would see the individual scores. So then I could come over here and put the scores back. So we're going to say that Jermaine knows all about sentences, and this may not even be what I didn't look at the scores. So we're going to say that Jermaine made a 100. Judelle, there were 5 questions. So Judelle, and forgive me if I mispronounce your name. Judelle made an 80. Mr. Fields made a 100. Karen made a 100. Oops, let's go back. And we're going to give one more 100. And Melody, my apologies, we are going to have to do some remediation. Melody didn't understand and missed all of the questions. So I'm going to know that I'm going to have to go back and do another one. And now I'm going to return. But to return all the grades, I just go up here to the upper left-hand corner and I click return. And it's going to say, do you want to return work to these 6 students? And if I would like to make a comment here, I can. And I'm just going to say, please see me for additional help. And then I'm going to click return. And now for those of you who turned in, and apparently there are still some more, and Peggy is saying, did I pass? I'm sorry, Peggy, you made a 0 on yours, so you're gonna have to have some additional remediation as well. So Peggy made a 0 on her quiz. I'm just kidding, Peggy made a 100.
Miss Leslie, sorry to interrupt. I don't see this quiz anywhere. Where do I have to go? I have joined through phone.
Okay, this is with Google Classroom. When your teacher returns an assignment, you will get an email. That's what happens for the students. The students get an email and it says your teacher has returned an assignment, and it will tell you in the body of the email what the grade is, as well as when they go to Google Classroom. So if I were to go to Google Classroom and quickly take this quiz, I'll show you what it looks like.
Excuse me.
Okay, so now I can view my score because I set it up so that I can view it. So if I click view my score, oh wow, I made a 100. Imagine that. Also, if I go to my email box, oh, I haven't graded that yet, have I? No, I sure have not. Okay, so Leslie made a 100. I need to return this. So I'm going to return it. And now I'm going back here and let me refresh. And it says that.
Just a minute. You did say that because I cannot access the screen, it says on my screen, it says, please complete this quiz. And when I click on it, it's not allowing me to, I don't see any questions to answer. So are you saying, am I on the right screen? Am I doing something wrong or what?
You're probably on the right screen, and you said you're on a computer, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Can I have your computer?
I'm not sure why you're not able to see the quiz. Are you able to see the rest of the Google Classroom?
What I'm able to see, what's on my screen now, it says daily quiz, 100 points. It said, please complete this quiz. I see that question. When I click on Google Forms, what comes up is, I'm waiting for it says you need access.
Okay, wait a minute. Did you say a 100?
Yeah.
Whom am I speaking with? I'm sorry, say that again.
Jean Miller.
Did you already complete the quiz?
Yes.
Okay, that's because you're only allowed to take it one time. That's why you're not seeing anything else.
This is Jean Miller talking with you now. To my knowledge, I haven't completed the quiz. It's saying you need access.
I'm not sure why you can't get access, but that's okay that you can't get access. As long as you're able to see what's in Google Classroom, that's the more important thing for right now.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right.
Okay. So I took the quiz as myself, and the question was asked, how would the student know? You get an email back, and right here it says, Leslie Fagan graded daily quiz. Hi, Leslie Fagan just returned daily quiz, and you'll see right here, the grade is a 100. And also, because it was a self-graded quiz, that information showed up just as soon as I took the quiz. I was able to view my score. Okay, so let's go back into Google Classroom because we have seen how to grade Um, and then all of the grades will show up here for the students. If you are just in the classroom on a daily basis, you won't see that part. If you're a long-term sub, you will, but you will need to probably work in conjunction with the teacher just based on if they are, quarantined or if they are actually sick. So that part will be worked out with you and human resources, but this is just to give you an overview. The last thing that I'm going to go back and show you is the Google Meet portion, which if you were actually in the classroom, you may not need this, but right now the teachers are using Google Meet to communicate with their students. They're doing their live lessons, and the Google Meet code is generated within Google Classroom. So all they have to do is click on this link, and that's the same link that the students are seeing in their Google Classroom, and then they are all in the class together. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I think that we covered most everything. Let me stop sharing my screen so that if there are questions in the chat box, I can see them, or if somebody has a question, they need to, do we have any questions in the chat box?
No. I do want to make sure that everyone gets credit for this training, though. Right now, there's only 23 of you guys who have signed in. So I have added the link again for you to click. Just make sure that you click that link. If you are on, and I'm going to try to send it again, copy and paste real quick. If you have not clicked the link, oops, here we go. Please click the link and sign in. If you are on a phone, what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to stay on this Google Meet. Do not hang up in order for us to get you signed in. If you have written your name in the chat that with your name and your email address, if you can't for some reason get the link to open, stay on the line as well, because let's see, I've got 26 now that have signed in, and so I know that's not everyone. I can check for you, Brandy and Rhonda. Let me check. Let's see. It just kind of takes it a minute because it's not all in a neat little spreadsheet. All right. Okay, I'll just read. I've got 28 now. I'm going to read off who I do have. I've got T. Fuller, S. Fuller, A. Roberts, K. Highland, W. Gilbert, L. Purdue, K. Fields, Trell Whitner, T. Williams, J. Jackson, J. Traylor, G. Cockrell, P. Ahmed, T. Underwood, M. Dewberry, C. Atkinson, S. Parker Green, J. Traylor, R. Huckabee, M. Meeks, L. Brooks, S. Meeks, J. Shipman, C. Carr, S. Masudi. I'm not sure if that's pronounced correctly. S. Buchanan, D. Bates, and S. Meeks. And I think some of those were repeats. So if I did not call your name, then if you will click that link.
This is Gwendolyn Trice.
Okay, I don't think I called your name, did I?
You did not.
Okay, did you?
I called in.
Okay, if you called in, if you will just hang on for just a minute. Leslie, are we completely done?
Yes, we are, I do believe. And what's
Okay.
going to happen, I'm about to stop the recording. It takes time for it to process. And once it's processed, then we can get that. I'll send that over to Human Resources and they can send it out to you all and you can go back and watch it. And also remember that there is a step-by-step Google slide presentation in the Google Classroom that walks you through how to use Google Classroom. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording, and then if your name was not called,
Hang on the line. Yeah.
If your name was called, then you can go ahead. And don't forget that you do have to do the mandated training in the other Google Classroom. And if you do not complete that as well as this, you will not be able to receive your pay, your half a day of sub pay. And
can someone hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Oh, this is Grace Mercer Lindsay. I've been listening, but I didn't know how to unmute to speak. Okay, so I'll just wait and leave it as it is. Okay.
Yes, just leave it. And if
Okay.
if you have signed in.
I have not. I was not able to do that. I was
right. Well, this is for everyone. If you were not able to sign in, please stay on the line so that we can get you signed in. And then I think, unless you have a question, you're welcome to hang up.
But don't forget to do the other part of your training.
Make sure you go to the Google Classroom to do the other substitute required training class.
Hi, this is Miss Casey Atkinson.
Okay.
I didn't see. I mean, on the other required training, there's nothing in the 2020 substitute required training Google area. It's like there's nothing. I've looked at it. I even have it up, and I just don't know. Did it not? Am I looking at something wrong or?
No, you should have things in there. Have you clicked on the classwork tab?
Let me check. Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. I looked at something differently, and that was me. Sorry.
Okay, so you're good. All right.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Sorry.
All right, perfect.
I've got a quick question.
Okay.
I jumped on a little late. The virtual substituting we will be doing in our home. Is that correct? Or will we actually go to the school?
That we don't know. That depends. If you're it's my understanding that they are preparing you all for when the students come back to school and the teachers either test positive and are sick, or they are possibly exposed and have to quarantine. So you all will be coming into the buildings to teach the classes. That's my understanding.
Okay, so we will actually be teaching the students that are in the building plus the ones that are at home learning. Is that correct? Am I understanding that right?
It depends. Again, this is if I understand what they said at the board meeting correctly, elementary schools, there will be face-to-face instruction with teachers. And then there will also be teachers who were teaching those students remotely. At the high school level, if the teacher is the only person in that content area, they probably will have students in class as well as students on the computer. It just depends on where you are, but that shouldn't be the case in elementary because most of the elementary teachers I believe have to teach all of the content areas. That's not the case in secondary. It depends on certifications.
Okay, and then to actually accept the job position, we'll go in the usual way that we would go into the ASOP. Is that right? To pick that job?
That we don't know. Robin and I are instructional technology coaches. Those are questions that
Yeah,
human resources, and I'm not sure.
Human resources.
Candace was on the call. I don't know if Candace is still on or not.
She's been taking a lot of calls, so she may have hopped off for a moment.
Okay, well, I don't know if anybody in HR is still on, but that's a question that you'll need to ask HR.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Fuller, am I talking about the 2021 substitute required training completion? Yes, that's the one that HR wants you to go and complete after this training.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
Miss Fagan, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Linda Farr.
Okay, wait a minute. There's several people talking. Somebody said, I only heard Google Classroom. What was the question?
My question is it Classroom, Google.com?
Mr. Gilbert, we couldn't hear you.
Okay. Is it Classroom, Google.com? Go to the next time.
It's classroom.google.com.
Classroom.google.com. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, I submitted the assignment. I don't receive it.
Okay, that's fine.
Miss Harris, can you hear me? Miss Harris.
One more.
Yes.
Like,
This is Linda Farr. Can you hear me?